Hey everyone, I hope you guys are doing well. I'm going to do a reading. We're going to see what the message is today. Before I do the reading, I do have a bit of a prelude, okay? Because of my readings from yesterday, I did read the comments, I always do, and I noticed that I did hit a nerve for a couple people. So I just wanted to talk about it again a little bit here. The topic of like codependency, okay, or just generally attachment styles. Now, the first thing that I do want to say is I was not referring to needing help because of like disability, okay? If you are sick or if you have bad health and you need someone to take care of you, that's not what I mean with codependency at all, okay? I did not mean that you're not allowed to need help when you're sick. Or that it's wrong to need people if you're like physically ill, okay? I was really talking about the emotional aspect of codependency, being emotionally codependent on another person. And the other thing is like, look, I'm not judging anyone at all for struggling with codependency, because we all have, even I have had phases of codependency in my life. I would say though that I do typically relate more to being hyper independent than I do being codependent, okay? And that all depends on how you were raised and how the different experiences you went through shaped you, okay? Like the different relationships and even growing up, how that shaped you as a person. But I want to make one thing. I want to say one thing here. Codependent people are not the only people that struggle with a feeling of rejection or abandonment. It's all about how you react to those feelings, right? So with the readings from yesterday, what was pretty evident there is that it's about the reaction to feeling left out or feeling left alone or feeling abandoned or exploring that abandonment wound. Even people that are hyper independent can have abandonment wounds, but it's all about how you react to it. Now, I do have to say, like for me personally, the way that I grew up, I'm a military child, so I grew up moving every 5 years, okay? So I learned from a young age that people come and go, okay? I don't have any friendships from school, none, because it wasn't really possible when everybody's always moving and everything is always changing. A lot of military kids can relate to that feeling, right? So I got used to people not staying and, you know, people come and go, friends come and go, people move away. But that doesn't mean that I don't also feel rejected sometimes or feel abandoned sometimes. But it's all about how you learn to respond to these situations, I guess you could say, right? So one situation popped in my head, and I do want to share this really quick because it's always about, you know, the people that you're with as well, like certain relationships. And there's one relationship instance that came to mind here talking about this subject. Like I said, I've always been more the kind of person that's hyper independent. When I feel rejected or abandoned, I tend to say, okay, fine, I don't need you at all, right? I tend to go to that extreme of, oh, I'm not going to rely on you at all. I don't need anyone, right? Because for me, growing up, asking for help is like linked with shame. Okay, for me, it's like asking for help, needing help. For me, my nervous system tells me that I'm weak if I do that. Okay, and I'm not saying that's healthy. That is not healthier than being codependent either, because you tend to overextend yourself a lot, and that's just a whole topic for itself. But I was in one relationship here where when I first started dating this person, in the first year, what I noticed is that this person would constantly break up with me, okay? Constantly. Every single fight, they would break up with me or they would block me, okay? And what it did was it triggered an abandonment wound in me that I didn't necessarily recognize or know that it was there. Because if you're in a fight and you're just in a disagreement, and see, I had never had a relationship like this before. I had never been in a relationship where someone was constantly breaking up with me over nothing, just because there was a fight. They just wanted to walk out. And it started triggering a response in me where I would kind of freak out internally because I didn't understand what was going on, and I would chase after them. And I would, text them and blow them up and be like, why don't you want to talk? Like, why can't we talk about this? Why do you want to just throw in the towel? I mean, I thought everything was fine. Why are you constantly just walking out? And it made me chase them, right? So all of a sudden, I had become a chaser in a bit of a codependent relationship, right? Where I was dealing with a runner. I was dealing with someone who had an avoidant personality type. And I was usually pretty hyper independent, but in this relationship, I was chasing after someone because they kept triggering a reaction in me and this wound in me every single time they broke up, because I just couldn't understand. It made me want to, chase after them and ask them, why are you doing this? Like, everything is fine. Why can't we talk about this? And they kept doing it over and over and over again. And it really started to frustrate me because I was not that kind of a person that would just constantly break up with someone. Like, for me, that was like the last resort. And I only did that when I really meant it, okay? It wasn't something that I threw around lightly. So it really, for the first year, it did something with me, okay? And all of a sudden, I just had this like epiphany at some point when I realized what was actually going on here, which is this person kept breaking up with me, but afterwards they would say, oh, I didn't really mean it. I just said it in the heat of the moment. And that's when I realized what they were actually doing, which is not breaking up with me because they meant it. It was because they knew it would trigger this reaction in me of me chasing after them. And, at some point I just said, I'm not doing this anymore. If you break up with me one more time or block me one more time, I will block you everywhere, and I'm done. I'm really done, because I realized that they were using it as like a weapon against me, okay? To trigger an abandonment wound, to make me scared of losing them in a fight. So all of a sudden I would forget everything they did to me. And usually it happened in these arguments where I had a problem. Okay, so it was manipulation. I would speak up and I would have a problem with this person, their attitude or something that they were doing to me, and they would just get so frustrated in the fight that they would break up with me, which would then do what? Trigger me into some sort of a, response of, oh my God, now I'm gonna lose them. Like, and then, lose them, but oh my God, it would make me want to chase after them a bit, to want to talk about what's going on. Can we please talk about this in peace? And it turned into a manipulation tactic for them, because I would then have to basically forget everything that I said, forget the problem that I had with them, because now I was like being emotionally blackmailed. It's like, either you forget your issue with me or I leave you. How about that? So this person didn't want to have to change anything. They didn't want to have to face accountability or deal with any of the issues I was bringing up. They wanted me to just sweep it under the rug and forget it. And if I didn't want to do that, they would just break up with me or block me. And it was super toxic. And I had never been in a relationship like that before. So and like I said, being hyper independent, I quickly, not quickly, after a year, I started catching on to what was actually going on. So then I stopped doing that. then I stopped chasing them. I said, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not chasing you anymore. And you could tell the switch. Like with this person, all of a sudden they were like, wait, what? You're not going to chase after me? You're just going to let me go, and you're not going to care? You're not going to fight for me? And that's when I had to sit this person down and say, why do you think that in every single fight that you have with someone has to fight for the other person? They were equating love with, well, I need to feel like you're fighting for me, and you can't live without me, and you can't be without me. And I was like, we're just having a normal conversation about something that's not going right in this relationship, and you want me to fight for you. And just because it was super toxic. But when I made that change and said, I'm not chasing after you anymore, okay, I realize now what you're doing. I didn't realize it for a long time, but at the same time, it was really valuable for me to go through that, because I recognized that I had a wound there, because they were triggering it. They kept pushing the button, but they were doing it half subconsciously and half intentionally, because in their life, they had somehow realized that this works. Okay? If they don't like that they're being attacked, if they don't like that someone is bringing up their issues, all they have to do is say, I'm leaving. If you don't like this, then you can leave. I'm breaking up with you. And it would trigger a response in the other person that would make them forget everything that they said, that would make them plead, please, please stay with me. Don't leave me. I don't want you to leave. So what that told me is that the person that they were dealing with before me was extremely codependent, and that worked. That worked like butter every single time. It worked, because someone doesn't keep doing the same shit over and over again if it hadn't worked with someone previously, or if they don't know that it gets them the favorable outcome for them, which is you shut up, you stop telling me what my flaws are, okay? And I can emotionally blackmail you, and I can then also get validation from you because you're chasing after me all of a sudden like I'm the prize. So I stopped doing that once I recognized that this person never meant it when they were breaking up with me, but they were doing it intentionally. And it was like a push and pull, super toxic kind of a situation. And I put my foot down. I said, I'm not doing this anymore. I am not doing this anymore. If you break up with me one more time, I'm gone. I'm gone. I'm not playing this stupid game with you, and I'm not going to fight for you. I'm not going to sit here and fight for you and tell you that you're, oh, please don't leave. I'm not doing it anymore. This is not me, okay? But in that year, it did show me, okay, so there is something there that's like, they're doing something with my psyche, right? So I had to look at that. That was something that I had to look at. So I can understand that, people have different attachment styles. And, me becoming someone that has a secure attachment style has also been its own journey. I'm not judging anyone that's codependent, but in that kind of a situation, you're making your own worth. You're like basing your own worth on if this person stays with you or not. And, and I can relate to that because, like I said, in that first year, every single time this person walked out on me, blocked me, broke up with me, what did I do? I felt like, why am I not good enough? Like I feel like I'm, trying to speak with you on a normal basis. I feel like everything is fine, but then you discard me like this over and over again. And what's wrong with me? It took me a while to process and realize it's not me, it's you. Like you have the problem here. The way that you deal with your issues, you are the problem, not me. But it takes a while to get there. So I can relate, right? And I'm not judging anyone, but coming back to this, it's the way that we react to rejection. It's the way that we react to abandonment is what is important in the healing process, because as a codependent person, if someone abandons you and rejects you, you feel like your emotional crutch was just taken away, or you like tie your own self-worth to if this person is staying with you or not. You're like making yourself emotionally dependent on if this person wants you or not. And that's really unhealthy, because when they abandon you or when they reject you, you feel like it's an issue with you, or you weren't good enough for them, or why aren't they seeing you for who you are, or all of that. It's you then maybe also feel like you're only gonna feel better when they choose you, and you have to vie for their attention, you have to fight for them. But honestly, if you're doing that for people like the person I'm talking about here, they feed off of this. Like, they realize that this is how you are, this is how you react, and they keep doing it to you over and over again because it gets them the response that they're looking for, which is enabling their own poor behavior, while they take no accountability and they know that they can just do this over and over again. So as a hyper independent person, right, if someone rejects me or gives me the feeling of abandonment, for me it's more of like a reassurance. Oh, I knew this was going to happen. I can't rely on anyone. I've learned this through my life. Like, you just can't rely on people. They're so unreliable. It's better to not depend on anyone. I don't need anyone's help. Fine, you want to reject me, then, another example here with this person is I moved and I had furniture on the floor that was just sitting on the floor for 6 months, and I would repeatedly ask this person for help. Okay, can you help me do this? Can you help me do that? Can you help me put these things up on the wall? I can't do it. I don't have the strength. Okay, I can't do it myself. And they never did it. And when I realized like they're not going to help me, what did I do? I didn't want to call a handyman because I didn't really want to spend the money when I knew I had someone there that could do it if they wanted to, right? But I did. I just called the handyman. I just had everything hung up, and this person came over. Oh, who did this for you? I got it taken care of myself because you showed me I can't rely on you. Okay. See, that's hyper independence. It's like, oh, I can't rely on you. I'm never gonna ask you for help again. Never, because you showed me one time that you're not going to help me. Codependence would, I feel like, show itself more in fighting with this person. You're like, I am a damsel, why aren't you helping me? You need to help me. Really putting like the emotional guilt on them for not helping. For me, it's the complete opposite. I'm just like, oh, fine, okay, fine, I'll do it myself then. I'm never going to ask you again. And that's kind of what I'm, I wanted to clear that up, right? Everybody goes through different dependency styles. It's not a judgment. I'm not judging anyone that, has things that they're working through in their life, but it is important if you're looking at it and realizing that it's there so that you can deal with it, right? And that you take accountability for the way that you deal with situations. It's important, okay? So I'm sorry I just went on this 18-minute long rant, but I just wanted to clear it up because I'm not sitting here trying to judge anyone saying, oh, this person is codependent on someone else, they can't get over someone. I say that with love. In a way, I do say with love because there's a wound for someone out there. There is a wound that they need to look at, and that's not anything. That's not a judgment on my part. It's just that's someone's reality, and it would be healthier for them to realize that it's there, because I can relate. I've been through something similar, like I just explained in this situation, okay, where I had to realize that this chaser runner dynamic is a tactic, and it only works if you're chasing and they're running. If they run and you stop chasing, it doesn't work anymore. Okay? It doesn't work anymore. And that person they were like flabbergasted that I stopped chasing them. They're like, no, you're supposed to fight for me. You're supposed to be showing me that you don't want to lose me. I was like, I'm not doing this shit anymore. I'm not, because it's a fucking game. You're playing a game with me. You don't even mean it. You just want to feel like I'm fighting for you. I'm not fighting for shit anymore. This is not me, okay? But it was important for me to realize that there was something there, or else I wouldn't have reacted the way that I did, right? If I had been secure back then, the way I am now, the first time they run, I would have let them run. I wouldn't have played that game with them for like a whole year, okay? So let's see, what's the message today? The Three of Wands. It's the Four of Wands. So going towards some sort of stability here. Yeah, okay, so a relationship, Two of Cups. This has to do with planning a future, planning the future, planning on what you're building, on what you want to achieve. This could be community, a union, okay? Knight of Pentacles, long-term plans, practical plans, long-term plans. This is like, where are we going? What are we doing? What are we building? Okay, what are the plans here? Oh, and one more thing that I want to add, talking about the trigger, right? If you realize that every time somebody does something to you and it's triggering a certain response in you, that's what you need to look at, because that person's actions, they weren't as much triggering in me like the feeling of abandonment as much as it was triggering something in me with my self-worth, right? Because they were just, like I said, constantly discarding me over and over again, and it did something to my self-worth. That's where my journey started, with my own worth. Like, what are you worth? Do you deserve to be treated this way? Because they were making me feel like I'm not good enough, and I'm only good enough for them if I fight for them. That's what they were triggering in me, okay? I'm only good enough for them if I show them that I want them, and I don't want them to leave, because I want them in my life, and only when I fight for them am I proving myself to be good enough. And that started to unravel when I recognized in myself, like, no, I am not only good enough if I'm fighting for you or proving to you that I want you to stay here and talk to me. I'm not only good enough for you if I'm proving something to you. I am good enough because I am. That's it. Because I am, and I don't have to prove anything. Okay. I am who I am, and I don't want to have to prove myself to someone else. Like, either you see who I am, what I have to offer, why someone wants to have a relationship with me, but I'm not going to prove anything to you so that you don't leave. Like, that is super manipulative, okay? So it doesn't always have to be a fear of abandonment. That can also be like this, a feeling of rejection, feeling rejected, looking at yourself, feeling like you're the problem, like there must be something wrong with you. Am I not worthy of love? Do I have to prove myself over and over again to be loved, okay? To accept love? Like, that's what you need to look at. That's what someone here needs to figure out, is if this person is triggering something over and over in you because of the way that they're reacting to you, you have the power. Like, you can reclaim your power, and it usually starts when you stop playing someone else's games. Confirmation, thank you. Okay, so is someone here playing a game with you that makes you feel like, that is triggering some level of codependency, okay? Like, for me, the codependency would have been, I'm basing my self-worth off of this person not discarding me, not breaking up with me, blocking me all the time. Like, I had to sever that tie of like, no, I know what I'm worth. I know what I deserve. I know how I deserve to be treated. I don't deserve this. I know I deserve someone that sees me for me, appreciates me for me, values me for me, and I don't have to prove anything, especially not on the level of like, I have to, fight for you and vie for you, and, that's where it starts. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it there. If you guys have some takes on that, you can put it in the comments. I do appreciate the comments, guys. And maybe some words for other people that are also reading the comments here on my channel and need some words of support, okay? Because I feel like it's very easy. It's super easy to find the fault within yourself and feel like you're not good enough. Like, someone else's reaction means that you are not good enough. And you have to separate yourself from that, realizing someone else's reactions, and this was a super important lesson for me in my life. Someone else's reactions is a reflection of them. It's reflecting them, okay? Who they are, on what emotional level they are. It has nothing to do with you, okay? Really. That's why it's also important how you react. How are you reacting to other people, okay? How you react is also a reflection of you. If you are reacting to a runner that's running away and you feel like you need to chase after them, what is that reflecting to you about you, okay? And how you feel about yourself. So let's see, what's the Three of Wands? Six of Cups in reverse and the World in reverse. Bad memories of the past, feeling stuck in the past, not being able to close out a cycle, not being able to learn, someone not learning a lesson, not closing something out. The Three of Swords, heartbroken. I mean, that's not how you can't really realistically move forward like that. I mean, the Three of Wands is someone planning a future, looking towards the future, waiting for their ships to come in, okay? But you can't plan your future. Oh, the Three of Swords. See, I get it now. This is kind of like, this is like potential. This is like lessons aren't learned. There's bad memories of the past here. There's heartbreak, but you're hoping that in the future, you're hoping that the future will be better and it will change even though something hasn't changed. The World in reverse is like a lesson hasn't been learned yet. You can only change the future if you learn the lesson. Like especially if this is about a relationship, which means there's two people in this equation. If you want the future to be different, yes, you might feel like you're being treated unfairly, you're being treated, you don't like the way you're being treated by your person and you feel like they need to change. But you or we also need to change. We also need to change how we are reacting to them or enabling them, or, we're keeping the cycle going in some way. We can't expect the future to be any different if we also are not changing how we react to situations, right? And you also have to stand up for yourself. Like, you can't stay the chaser in a codependent relationship. You can't stay being the chaser, chasing after this person, wanting to prove to them that you're good enough, hoping that one day they'll see, that you are worthy or good enough. If you keep feeding into the same cycle of you chasing after them and then being the runner, how is anything supposed to change? It's like, it only changes when one of you stops the cycle. And either, in most cases, it's when the chaser stops chasing. It is. The runner doesn't typically stop running away if they always have someone chasing after them. Okay. So what's the Four of Wands? The Seven of Pentacles. Long-term investment. Working long-term on something here. Six of Pentacles in reverse. King of Wands in reverse. Yeah, something is not equal give and take. You could be dealing with someone that's a hothead. Okay, King of Wands in reverse. This is someone that's very impulsive. Very, very impulsive, very fiery, very hot-headed, very in and out, very, it's just giving me impulsive. It's like somebody's trying to build a life, build stability with someone that is just impulsive and hot-headed and angry, okay? They're just in the heat of the moment, right? But there's also no reciprocity. Six of Pentacles in reverse. It's like you're gonna feel at some point, because you have to realize that the runner will never be the chaser. They might start chasing you once you stop chasing them. But the runner will never turn around and all of a sudden chase you while you're still chasing them. You get what I'm saying? It's like you have to see this kind of from a bird's eye view. And if you are always chasing after them and fighting for them and vying for them and please don't leave me, I really love you, I just want to talk, like, can we just work it out, can we just talk one more time, like, I want you in my life, like, yes, I have an issue with your behavior, I don't like the way that you're treating me, but that doesn't mean that I don't want you, I just want to talk about it. You're always you're gonna be making yourself small, because this person is gonna start conditioning you to feel like bringing up your issues is gonna push them away. It's like you have to conform to them or else they're gonna like walk out on you. And that's gonna be dangerous territory, because you're always gonna feel like you have to fight for them and prove yourself to them, and they're not doing it at all the other way around. They're not. They're making it very comfortable for themselves by just, instead of changing anything about their personality or about the way they treat you, they just say, oh, fine, then I'm just gonna leave. If you don't like this and you can't accept this about me, I'm just gonna leave. Fine, bye. Then we'll break up, block you everywhere, I don't care. They're not gonna turn around and say to you, oh, like, and especially if you try their tactics or their manipulation tactics on them, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work, because the personality type is different. It's a avoidant personality with what's it called? The other one, the anxious attached style. Okay. This person, it's almost like they're gonna recognize what you're trying to do because it's their tactic, and they're not gonna go for it. It's like, fine, you want to leave? They don't care. Like, you have to just say, you have to put your foot down and say, I'm not chasing after you anymore. I'm not doing it. And you really have to pull it through. Okay, you really have to make them realize you're not chasing, or else you're gonna feel like they're never gonna come to you and say, I really want this with you and I'm really sorry and stuff like that. They might do it in like the moment, but it's not really. The change has to be fundamental. Like, you have to change yourself fundamentally by looking at your triggers and why this person has this kind of a hold on you, why this person is able to get into your psyche like this, they're able to break you down like this. That is what you have to change fundamentally if you want to attract someone that, sees your worth and your value, okay? Without you having to prove it. So what's the Knight of Pentacles? The Six of Swords. Yeah, so leaving something behind, moving on to peace. Again, the Knight of Wands. It's just someone is super flighty, okay? Nine of Wands, Two of Swords. Very defensive. Very defensive. I don't know. I don't have an idea. I don't know. I don't have clarity. I mean, especially when it comes to like making long-term plans, right? Like, if you're the kind of person that you need a lot of stability and you need this feeling of dependability and reliability, you just want to know what you're getting into here, and you have someone who's like very spontaneous, okay? This kind of a runner dynamic, it can really disrupt your sense of stability, because especially if you're someone like me and you don't constantly break up with someone only when you really mean it, okay? Only when you're really fucking done with someone's shit, okay? You are someone that plans for the future. You plan long term, okay? You could have Earth in your chart, considering there's a Knight of Pentacles here. And you need a feeling of like stability. This kind of dynamic really disrupts that. So I don't know if a lot of arguments in your relationship stem from you needing to feel like there's a plan, okay? You wanting to feel like the relationship is going somewhere. You can plan long term. You know that someone is sure about you, or that someone is committed to you and you're both looking in the same direction. But then you have someone who's a runner, who has issues with commitment. They have more of an avoidant attachment style. they're not really changing anything. You know, if anything, when you start putting up boundaries and say, I want this and I'm expecting this, they want to run away. And it's this same this is the same patterning of like, they think that if they run away and say, well, if you don't accept this from me and you expect this from me, but I don't want to give it to you, then I'm just going to leave, hoping to trigger this wound again, where it's like, fine, I'll settle for nothing. Fine, I'll settle for breadcrumbs. Fine, I'll settle for not having a plan because just having you around is enough. That's what this person is trying to do, is literally trying to get you to settle for nothing, settle for not having a plan, not knowing where the relationship is going, just settling for just being with them is good enough, because they'll emotionally blackmail you into feeling like, you know, you're putting them under pressure or you're expecting too much. And like, if you're not just happy with them being around, then they'll just leave and find someone else that will settle for nothing. Okay. It keeps you, it really keeps you in a loop here. I mean, this is like, it's hard having a relationship long-term with someone like this, because you change and you go within and you reflect and you know, heal and work on yourself. And then this person stays stuck in this patterning. It's just a pattern. It's a subconscious pattern that they just don't look at really. Okay. Okay, let's see. What's the Three of Wands? Lightning, sudden change, shocking news, surprise epiphany, upheaval, transformation. What is that about? A soulmate connection. So there's some sort of sudden change, shocking news, upheaval in a soulmate connection. Okay. Why? Because you want to move forward and someone just I mean, the Four of Cups is like, see, I don't know if this is your energy. You're unhappy about the pace of things, okay? Maybe you're unhappy with how fast things are going, or you're unhappy with the direction things are going, or also like, this is like, this kind of a person will make you feel like you are like you're a passenger in your own car. Okay, like you're riding in the front seat, but you're not the one driving. This is someone that will want to drive the car. They'll want to pace the relationship. They will make you feel like you're just a passenger, and if you don't like what they're doing, then get out. And it's almost like you don't have a voice over your own life. They expect you to just throw your own dreams and aspirations, your own milestones out the window, because, you know, if you start saying, well, you know, don't we want to think about this, and what about then, and how about next year? Well, if you don't like my pace, then just get out of the car. It's to get you to shut up. You get what I'm saying? It's literally manipulation to get someone to shut up. It's like, either if you want to be with me and I'm the prize, then you need to shut up and just stay passenger in your own life, because that's the deal. If you want to be with me, you have to learn to settle for nothing. Okay? I'm not going to come towards you, and I'm not going to let you pressure me into, you know, what you want. This is my show. I run the show. It's your life, it's your car, but I'm driving. Okay? That's this. Really. So frustrating. It can be so frustrating. The Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, okay. What's this? Bad memories of the past. Queen of Swords in reverse. Yeah, so honestly, it's either you or the other person. Manipulation, okay? I feel like you could have gotten tired of this person's shit. If you're the Queen of Swords and you're in the reverse, it's really like you got tired of this person's shit. At some point, you might have just become cold-hearted, honestly. Cold-hearted, no more chasing. I don't give a fuck what you do. If you want to leave, go ahead and leave. I don't care. Okay? Or you could just get angry. Maybe you get a little bit, you know, feisty with your words. I don't know. If this is this other person, It's just manipulation. They just manipulate. Yeah, so what's the world in reverse? The Eight of Wands. Someone taking fast action, talking about where are we going? What's happening here? What's the next move? What are you planning on doing? You know, where is this headed? It also could be about, you know, someone's choices. It's like, this is someone, they want to, like I said, they want to always drive the car. They want to make the decisions. They want to tell you where you're going. It's like, this is the kind of man that, you know, they want to be like the lead of the household, but you're not a fucking trad wife. Okay? That's just kind of a dynamic. It's like someone that wants you to be submissive and, you know, follow their lead, but you're not that kind of a person. At least that's not what you want to be, unless they have successfully manipulated you into being a codependent chaser, and that then becomes your life. But if you're someone that, you know, you fight against this and you don't like this, you don't really want to live like this, it feels like a never-ending cycle of you wanting to, you know, what's the next move? Where are we going? Where are we going from here? You know, what are your plans? What are you planning? And realizing that you're literally on a hamster wheel of a cycle that just doesn't close. Okay, what's the Three of Swords? Heartbreak and pain. About someone dating someone new, meeting someone new, planning, setting a date. I don't even really feel like it's a date as much as it's like you want to know a date. Like you want to know a time. Like you want to know when something is happening, you know, you want to be able to plan your life. And this is where, you know, it's like a clash of the personalities, because you could be someone, you like to make a plan. You have a 5-year plan. You have a 10-year plan. You want to know certain dates. You want to have something that you can rely on. Okay? You want to have something in your hand that you feel like you can like hold against someone. Because look, I'm speaking out of the sense of someone that's a bit hyper independent, right? I don't really like relying on other people, because I've come to find out that you can't really rely on other people, especially what they say, because people say a lot. I don't accept words anymore. I want actions. So if I want something from someone, I want to know when they're going to deliver, because then it's something that I can at some point say, well, you said you would do it in this and this time. Nothing's happening, right? Then I have something that I can, you know, it gives me a sense of security to know. I don't like leaving things open and just letting someone wander, because people make a lot of promises that they cannot keep, okay? Or they just don't see it as a priority. That's how some people are, right? So I feel like whoever you are, you've also experienced this kind of a pain where you ask for certain dates, give me a timeline, let me know what's going on, and then you're dealing with someone who's very spontaneous, very flippy floppy, very, oh, I want you to today, and then the next day I want to leave. And then even the thing about it is when you start pulling away and when you start becoming unsure, because this relationship fundamentally lacks a sense of stability due to someone being a runner in the dynamic, they then say, oh, you're the one that's flippy floppy. You don't know what you want. It's like, you do know what you want, but you also feel like this person cannot give you a certain level of stability that you're looking for. Okay. So yeah, what's this Four of Wands here? The Three of Wands again. Look at this, the Seven of Wands, the Three of Wands, the Seven of Cups. It's like, you know what you want. You know where you're going. You know what you want your future to look like. You know what you expect from a person. You are ready to defend this, okay? But then confusion, the Seven of Cups, I'm confused. Like, you could also be confused about what does this other person want? Like, what do you want? Because you're not even able to give me a timeline of this and this and that. Because this person is very like, it feels like someone here has a lot of earth, and then you're dealing with someone who has like a lot of water. It's like you need the grounding and they're very wavy, and it's like, It works when you balance each other out. It doesn't work though when the person that is watery wants to drive the car all the time and they don't want to come on they don't want to come on the ground, the solid ground, right? Yeah, it's something here that's like, something about the Seven of Cups. Just confusion, okay? And it's a lot of, look, there's a lot of wands here. A lot of wands. A lot. And then there's a little bit of like watery energy, which is the Seven of Cups and the Four of Cups, which both of them, not good, if you ask me, okay? In this relationship dynamic anyways. And the Six of Cups in reverse. It's like the emotions are confusing because someone here wants to see action. Okay, the Three of Swords, the Two of Swords, the Six of Swords. When it comes to words, when it comes to the mind and clarity, heartbreak and not knowing what the fuck is going on, Two of Swords. Okay, there's something in this dynamic is not matching up. Action and what someone says, what they want to achieve and where this is going is not matching up with the mental clarity that someone should have in a situation where they want to do something. You cannot take action without your brain thinking it first. Okay? Actions speak louder than words. We have someone here that doesn't know what they want. They don't really have clarity. Two of Swords. They don't really know right now what they want or where they want to go. They're confused. Their emotions are confused. But they're talking about, yes, I want this and I want that. I'm going to go after this. It's like, you cannot just expect action to come if someone doesn't even really know what they want or what they feel, or, the emotion, the mind is not matching up with the action. Frustrating. The Runner comes out. I cannot make it up. Okay, the Runner. Runner in a codependent relationship, a fear of intimacy, a fear of commitment, listening to ego. That's exactly who this person is. They wear a mask. They pretend a lot. They don't show their true feelings, and their true feelings is, I'm confused. I don't really know what I want. Their thoughts are, I don't really know what the right move is. I don't really know right now. I don't have a plan right now. But what comes out of their mouth is, yeah, I want to go this way and I want to go that way, and I'm planning this and I'm planning that, and I want stability and I want to build this. It doesn't match up with what's actually going on within them. They're just wearing a mask. It's a runner. It's a runner. Like, if you're dealing with someone like this, you have to stop looking at what they're saying to you. And you really have to pay attention to their actions. Really. Actions do speak louder than words. Words, to me, mean nothing anymore. Nothing. Nothing anymore. That's the Seven of Pentacles. The Grim Reaper in reverse. Yeah, working steadily on something. Yeah, I'm going to put in the effort. I want to work on this. I'm going to, invest into this just so that the relationship isn't over. No second chances. But the Seven of Pentacles is when you're working, putting in work, putting in effort, and you don't see any results. It's like this long, that's the loop, really, is that this person is telling you about all the things that they want to do, all the things they want to achieve, all the things that they're going to give to you, but nothing happens. You just spend time and time and time investing so that you don't leave, okay? You don't end the relationship because they make all these promises of potential, but there's literally nothing behind it because they're a runner. They have a fear of commitment. And when they tell you these things, it's a lot different than actually doing it, because words might not mean that much to this person. It's just something they said. It's the same thing with breaking up with you over and over and over again. It doesn't mean anything, right? To them, it doesn't mean anything at all when they walk out on you and just discard you. Oh, well, I didn't really mean that. This person could be someone, they say a lot of things and then afterwards say, oh, I didn't really mean it that way. For them, words mean nothing. They just say things. But every now and then they will slip up. They will say something and you'll be like, oh, now I realize what's actually going on in there. And then when you call them out on it, they'll say, well, I didn't really mean it that way. So if everything that they're saying to you and everything they do in your life is like, they break up with you, they discard you, they, say nasty things. Oh, I didn't break, all the whole 9 years. I didn't really mean it that way. How do you know that when they're saying to you, I want to build with you, I want to have this with you, I want to, build a life with you? Is that just another thing that they're just saying, oh, I didn't really mean it that way? Don't cherry pick. Don't cherry pick the things that don't mean anything. Because this is the kind of person you have to look at their actions, okay? Really. What's the Six of Pentacles reverse? Stability, security, permanence, and growth. Six of Pentacles reverse, which literally means there is none. Okay, this person does not give you any sense of stability or security in your life. They don't. They don't reciprocate. They expect you to give it to them, though. They expect you to give them a feeling of stability and security. And that usually comes in you chasing after them and making them feel like you can't live without them. You can't function without them. You're codependent on them. You need them. You can't be anything without them. That's what they need to hear because it makes them feel like you're stable. Stability to them, at least. That's what gives them their sense of security, is when you're chasing after them and fighting for them and making them feel like you can't be without them, right? They're not going to give this back to you, though, because you don't need it. I feel like, whoever you are, you don't need it with this person fighting for you and proving themselves to you. That's not how you need stability and security in this relationship. You just need a level of commitment, reliability, dependability, and that things just flow without the constant roller coaster up and down of emotion. This person walking out, coming back, knowing what they want, not knowing what they want, planning a future, not planning a future. How is anyone supposed to feel stable in a situation like that? It's literally boop, 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 like that. Okay, but they get their stability, security, their permanence off of you being a codependent chaser. Okay, that's just how it is. What's the Knight of Pentacles? The Snake. Wow. Enemy, clever, competition, the Snake. I like you. I like you. Telling you, this is a snake that tells you everything you want to hear. It's just words. I like you. The snake is telling you, I like you. Romance is blooming. Yes, we're going to have this together. It's just love bombing, right? It literally is. Everything about this person's plans for the future with you is just, oh yeah, nice words. I like you. Heart. But when it actually comes to doing it, you're going to realize there's nothing behind it, okay? If this is a relationship where this person has said to you multiple times, as more times than you can count, they've said things to you, like, I'm gonna break up with you and I'm gonna leave, or, they say weird comments, where you feel like they accidentally said the truth, and then you call them out on it and they're like, oh no, I always say things that I don't really mean that way, blah, blah. If they do that a lot, pay close attention to when they say things like, I want to have this with you, I want to build that with you, because they might also be doing, they also might be kind of twisting it around when it comes to that as well. It's like they might not mean everything they say. They might not really mean it. Some people, they just throw words around. There are people that, they're people of their word. If they say they're going to do something, they do it. You won't have to pressure them. If they speak on something and that's their opinion, they're going to stand on it. And then there's people that just say things just to get a reaction, or just to fit in or just to make you think of them in a better light. And words don't always mean the same thing to everyone, okay? That's another valuable lesson, I guess. What's the Nine of Wands? A hand of cards. Oh, yeah. Oh, just stringing you along, right? Just treating you like an unconventional string along. That's what they do. That's what these runners do. They just string you along while they figure out their options. This is someone that wants to keep their options open. They don't like feeling like there's only one option for them. That's why they always have a back door open. That's why they always have one foot out the door, because they don't like feeling like you're the only option or there's one option. This is someone, it's like they get claustrophobic, okay? You have to see it like that. This is someone that gets claustrophobic. Let's say the house or the room that you're building together in a relationship is a room. You, as someone who's committed and you are ready to go in there with this person and you're ready to decorate and plan and this and that, this kind of a person goes in that room and they feel claustrophobic. They feel like they start getting panic, anxious, that now they're in this room and what if they can't get out? Like, what if they're trapped in the room now? That is something they need to look at. You cannot heal that in this person. It doesn't matter how you decorate that room. It doesn't matter if you rip out a wall and put a huge window that they can see everything. It doesn't matter. This person has the problem within themselves that they get panicky, they get anxious and freaked out when they feel like they're in a room with you and there's no door out. Like with them, it unleashes some sort of panic, anxiety. Like, they feel more secure when they feel like they can walk out as they please. You're never going to be able to chain someone down like this. It doesn't matter how, how nice you make it, what kind of a homemaker you are, how you want to prove to them that you're worthy, how you want to prove to them that being with you is a nice idea. It's, oh, look at how nice of the life we could have. It doesn't matter. It's this anxiety that they feel, the panic that sets with them when they feel like they are claustrophobic in a room with you. It's the same panic that you feel when they leave. Do you get it? When they step out and say, I'm leaving, I can't stay here, you start to feel panic. You start to feel desperation. Like, no, wait, come back. I made it so nice. Look at this room. It's so nice. We could have such a nice life here. You start panicking. That panic is the same thing they feel when they are claustrophobic and stuck in a room and feel like there's no way out. Okay? And that felt like such a channeled message just now. I don't know. They feel like they have to be strategic. This is someone, they will always find a way to be strategic. They will never show you their whole hand because they are avoiding looking at this issue that they have within themselves, which is, why do I feel so much panic when it comes to commitment? Why does it scare me to commit to some person? Why does it freak me the fuck out planning a life with someone when I don't have like a safety life jacket that I can, swim away in? That's something they have to deal with. It doesn't matter what you do. They're never gonna, they have to look at that. And some people never do. Some people cannot overcome this. They can't. Because you would have to find the trigger. What is triggering this person? What is the first memory that they felt that made them feel this way? So that every single time they get into a situation like this, now they want to run away. It has nothing to do with you. It doesn't matter what kind of a person you are, how good you are, if you're good enough. It's not, their reaction has nothing to do with you, okay? What's the Two of Swords? Boat, receiving what you need, progressing, arriving, moving on. And then you're left like this. You're left like this, okay? So you're the one that wants to receive what you need. You want to progress. You want to arrive. You want to know where you're going. And this person's like, I don't know. I mean, maybe. I mean, yeah, I can see myself doing that. But telling you that they're going to go in this room with you and there's no door out is one thing. Actually doing it is a whole nother level. Someone can tell you all day long, oh yeah, I'll go on that free falling tower at Disneyland, and whatever it's called there. I'm gonna go on that amusement park ride with you that free falls 500 meters, and then yeah, sure, I'll go on that with you. It's a whole different level when they're actually standing in the line looking at that thing, and it's another whole level being strapped into the seat. Do you get what I'm saying? Words don't mean anything. This person can tell you all day long they want this, they're gonna do that. Yes, of course they'll do this for you. They don't really know. They don't really know. They're just stringing someone along here. Okay? They are. And whoever you are, you might be holding on a lot to what they say, when in reality, maybe this kind of person, they say a lot that they just don't really mean. Okay. So what else here? They're lying. They're lying. They're not telling you the truth about their feelings or what they really want. They're lying. The High Priestess in reverse. Yeah, this is someone that's keeping secrets. The Eight of Wands reverse, there's no action. This person isn't planning on taking any action. They're not actually planning on going on the amusement park ride, getting in that room with you, traveling the world with you, getting married to you. They're not actually gonna do this. The action is not there. The words is the Seven of Swords. The words are lies. The words are manipulation, telling you everything you want to hear. The High Priestess in reverse, keeping secrets, keeping how they really feel bottled down, keeping the fact that they're never actually going to take action. They're keeping it to themselves. That they don't want to do something, that they don't want to take action on something. They're not going to tell you this. They're keeping it on the inside. Probably because they don't want you to leave, honestly. They just don't want you to leave. Right? So, if you have someone, like let's say you want to get married, and this person knows it's important to you, but marriage is that room that they feel terrified of. They don't want to be locked in a room without a door out. Like, that's terrifying. That's panicking to them. They're going to tell you, yeah, I want to marry you. I do. I love you. I want to marry you. I want to be with you. But they're lying. They don't really want to do it. They don't really want to. They don't really want to do it. They're just telling you what you want to hear. Okay? And we have to recognize that. Sometimes, even though it's painful. The Six of Pentacles. Yeah, the King of Wands and the Four of Pentacles. It's about, giving and receiving here. And death. Holding on to something here. Clinging on to something. Clinging on to someone. Clinging on to something. An idea of something. What's that? Four of Pentacles. That it's a soulmate connection. That you will balance each other out. That you will complement each other. Yeah, and this can work. It can, if you both do the healing. If you, as a chaser in a codependent relationship, you work on that feeling of when they leave, the panic, the desperation. Okay, when you start working on that security, that the secure attachment style of, fine, if you want to go, then go. I'm not going to stop you. But they also have to work on the flight response. If they don't, it's not going to balance each other out. It's just going to end up you being balanced and they're not. And they're going to keep trying to pull you into the same cycle over and over again, where they're trying to trigger a response in you. Or where they just don't want to commit and they just tell you what you want to hear. Right? They will tell you that they just need time. It's going to take time. Not right now, but in time. Yeah, that's typical runner right there. Typical runner is, I can't tell you when, I just know it's going to happen. That's why they cannot give you a date. Because giving you a date would mean that they are like bound to an agreement. That would set in the panic of, oh my God, I actually have to do it. It's easier to just keep things up in the air where you don't know when it's going to come, because then they can figure it out as they go along. They don't want to give you a date. They don't want to tell you when something's going to happen because they're fucking terrified. They're trying to string you along as they can. Honestly, yeah. Love call. And then they call you on the phone. Someone expresses love, a message of love, thinking of you, letting you know. And then they just, again, they tell you everything that you want to hear. Not right now, but in the future. Not now, but maybe in time. We just need some more time. I just need to buy myself more time. You know, it's not the right time right now. It's just, you will notice at some point that there's always going to be an excuse. Always. If this person wants to buy time, they will always find an excuse. It'll be money, it'll be family, it'll be job, it'll be situations, it'll be this, it'll be bad, you know, oh, we're just going through a bad phase. They're always going to find an excuse. Okay? Yeah, so let's see here. Closing words for the collective. Advice. Any advice? The 10 of Wands and the 3 of Pentacles. Finding a solution with you feels very hard to this person, okay? Very overwhelming. It feels like a lot of responsibility for them, okay? The Page of Wands. The 4 of Swords, the 6 of Swords, and the Page of Wands. Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is about peace, right? I mean, the 4 of Swords, that is mental peace. It's about you finding peace. Like, if you're trying to change this person or work together with this person or sit down at a table and explain to them what they need to do, it's going to feel overwhelming and unbearable, because people don't change unless, first of all, they want to, and people don't change unless they recognize what it is that they're doing, which comes back to kind of like what I was talking about with this whole year of me chasing after someone. I wasn't going to change that part of me until I recognized that I'm even doing it in the first place and what's going on. And that's the same thing with this person. Is like, they have to recognize what they're doing and why they're doing it, and then they have to want to change it themselves. You can't change them. You can't. The only thing you can do is like try and find your own fucking peace, because you're only gonna find peace if you build that house and you build that room, and it's your room and it's beautiful. And this person comes in, they say, oh yeah, I'm gonna stay here with you, and then they leave. You will only have peace when they leave and you let them. That's when you have found true peace. Is when you leave, when they leave and you just let them walk out, because you recognize what they're doing. And you have grown past it. Confirmation, thank you. Right? All right, last card. The 2 of Wands. Yeah, so you might have a choice to make. You might have a choice to make. The 2 of Wands is about a choice. You have a choice to make now. Yeah, you do, the Sun. You have to make a choice. You have to make a choice. And what's the choice? the devil, the Knight of Wands. Or this person has to make a choice. I don't know. The devil, Knight of Wands. It's someone, it's the toxicity, honestly, the toxicity of this anger, this fighting, this constant arguing, the toxicity, the control, you know, someone being flighty, coming in and out, just being spontaneous, you know. What are you going to choose, really? Or this person has to make a choice. I don't know. Tell me about this choice here, the Two of Wands. Keep a positive mindset. Manifest exactly what you want. Focus on self in reverse. Self-worth in reverse. Shadow work in reverse. Yeah, it's kind of like someone here has to make a choice, and you have to make the choice with like on the basis of this person might never change. They might never do their shadow work. They might always act selfishly, and they might destroy your self-worth in the process. Okay. Abundance. What do you want to manifest? What are you grateful for? Okay. Endings bring new beginnings. Yeah. Change. This card says change, growth, change, liberation, and transition. Yeah, something needs to change. Something needs to grow. Something needs to end for a new beginning. And I honestly feel like it's just the toxicity. Like it's the behavior patterns, okay? And you can't manifest what you want either if you're feeding into someone else's patterns. It's the truth. Yeah, somebody doesn't want to move on. Somebody doesn't want to live in the moment. Girl talk in reverse, but what's the choice? The choice is mirroring each other. Relationships reflect our wounds. Introspection. Someone has to make the choice. It has to be a conscious choice to go within and look at themselves and realize that this relationship is reflecting a wound. It's reflecting a wound back to you, but it's also reflecting a wound back to your person. If you heal the wound, they have to as well. It's not going to work if only one of you does it. And it's also not going to work if you try to tell this person that they need to look at this or they need to do it. They need to recognize it. There's no other way. Okay? Yeah. So I'm going to leave it at that, guys. Hope this helps. Thank you for watching. Until next time.